Welcome back. This week, ads. Critical thinking. What are ads? You probably know, but if you don't, here's a definition. Ads or advertisements are announcements in a public medium promoting a product, service, event, or job vacancy. And actually, many ads specifically target kids ages 8 to 12, so around your guys' age. Do you have the critical thinking skills to understand ads and what they want? Hopefully, after this lesson, you'll be able to understand a bit more. Everywhere you look, it seems like you see advertisements, not just on TV or online, on buses, on the sides of buildings, even just on the side of the road on huge billboards there's ads, and on the radio all the time there's ads, and just everywhere there's ads. Even on this video you're watching on YouTube there could be ads because YouTube started monetizing even non-monetized videos, putting them everywhere. They're everywhere. But some ads can be cool. Advertising is a pretty huge industry that employs lots and lots of people. And some ads can be extremely creative and artistic and almost like just miniature movies in themselves. Some of the most effective ads, I think, have really, really catchy songs, or they just have excellent special effects and cinematography. Here's an example of one of the most amazing ads I've ever seen. This came out many years back, but its storytelling and its special effects and just cinematography design are just really great.
The heat that was your hair's enemy is now its best friend.
A whole story about a princess taming a wild dragon and immune to its fire, all just to advertise some shampoo. It's been a strategy of advertising companies for many years to specifically make catchy songs that get stuck in your head, and then they make you think of their product just unintentionally all the time. So you could just be walking around and then suddenly this song pops into your head, or this jingle, and you're thinking of this thing unintentionally, even if you might not want to. It just, you can't help it sometimes. And then these companies, they think that the more it pops into your head, the more money you'll spend on whatever it is they're advertising. And it can be kind of annoying sometimes. Here's another example of a ad from when I was a little kid that combined both excellent cinematography and an extremely catchy song.
It's sometime in the future. The ultimate challenge. Crossfire! Crossfire! You get caught up in the crossfire! Crossfire! You get caught up in the crossfire! 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 You'll get caught up in it.
Whoa, I got caught up in it. I did actually end up buying that game. It was just kind of a weird little board game. It was not anywhere near as cool as the commercial made it seem, but wow, that was quite an adventure. Some ads can be good though. For example, you might be seeing all sorts of ads trying to help out spread the word about coronavirus or to stop pollution. These are called public service announcements, or PSAs. And usually they're paid for by a public organization or by the government, and they try to just educate people about dangerous things like coronavirus or certain drugs or alcohol or things like that. And they try to inform people of good behaviors to follow to basically not get killed or to help each other out. Here's one basically saying how smoking is really, really bad for kids. Sometimes you can get overwhelmed with all these ads, and there's actually a dark side of ads. Let's talk about the dark side of ads. It's important to think about what ads are trying to make you do. Most ads are simply trying to get you to spend money, okay? But some ads try to trick you by lying. They could be advertising something, and what you get turns out to be completely different. This happens a lot in fast food advertisements, but also for other things too. This is called false advertising. Sometimes it's intentional, and sometimes it's unintentional. Greenwashing. This is another form of basically ads that lie to you. Greenwashing is the act of outwardly promoting sustainable ideas to try and draw attention away from the waste produced by something or the lack of benefits that it actually has. So for example, Fiji water, it's saying that it helps reduce carbon emissions, but really they create so much waste by creating all of these plastic bottles that many of which probably end up in the ocean, killing fish and other marine animals. Here's another example of something really hypocritical. It says zero waste, but this is paid for by Shell, one of the largest oil companies in the world. And they're responsible for huge amounts of waste in the form of CO2 from burning gas that's affecting our whole planet and causing climate change around the world. Here's another example of misleading ads. Which is the right download button to download this anti-malware? Is it this one? Is it that one? Is it these down here? Well, it's probably actually this one, but the point is these are trying to mislead you, these ads, by trying to click the wrong download button. They try to control you. Ads that aren't really necessarily trying to take your money right away are trying to control you in different ways. Sometimes they try to install malware, like with a fake download button or viruses. Other times, they want to just control the way you think or affect the way you think. Or they're trying to make you vote a certain way. Okay? Here's an example with a measure that was trying to get passed in Oregon a few years ago. The Yes on 97 measure was supposed to raise billions of dollars for the schools. And, well, sometimes you got to think about who's paying for an advertisement. Who's trying to pay for the advertising and basically control the way you're going to act? Well, it turns out the Yes measure push was paid for almost entirely by teachers. Teachers trying to get more money for schools, get better class sizes, and more opportunities and resources for students. Uh, the No on 97 measure was paid for almost exclusively by big corporations like Safeway and Fred Meyer and other big corporations. Now they have lots of money to spend on advertising, and they actually outspent by many millions of dollars the Yes campaign, and they convinced people that this was going to be a sales tax, and so this measure failed. Well, that's just an example. Next time you see an advertisement anywhere, could be online, could be on TV, could be just on the side of the road, think about it a little more than you might have before. Stop for a minute and critically think. You can ask yourself these 3 questions. What is this ad trying to make me do? Whether it's spend money or change my behavior. Who paid for this ad? Who's actually in control? Who's calling the shots here? And finally, is the thing that it's trying to make me do good or bad? It's always a good practice to ask yourself these things instead of accepting things at face value right away. In our busy world, sometimes I get overwhelmed by ads. Sometimes there's so many ads, I'm like, oh my goodness, I hate it when people are trying to control me or make me buy something and just telling me what to do, right? Well, today we're going to do something about it. Today, let's install an excellent ad blocker. This is my favorite ad blocker. It's called uBlock Origin. and it will block all sorts of ads, but it won't block all of them. Like, unfortunately, it won't block ads on YouTube. And then finally, I want you to find an ad. It could be online or it could be in real life, and you can take a screenshot of it, a selected screenshot, or just a picture. You can hold it up, hold the ad up to your Chromebook, for example. And then after you take a picture, just answer 3 questions about it. And that's all. All right, to install uBlock Origin, go back to Seesaw and go to the assignment, and you can see, click here. I just made it smaller so it'd be easier to fit in the assignment, and it'll take you here. And you just click Add to Chrome, okay? And it'll install this ad blocker. You got to click, so it says it can read and change your data on websites. Yes, that's okay. Add extension. And it will install this extension onto the Google Chrome browser. Okay, and here it is. It's been added to Chrome. Hooray! So you can use this icon to control it. Okay, and you can turn it on or off. Here's your extensions right here. This little puzzle piece. Okay, so you can see what uBlock does. Basically, it'll keep track of how many ads it blocks for you. It's really cool to see how many ads it blocks, and you can turn it on or off at any time just by clicking on it and clicking the power button to turn it off or back on. Okay, it's that simple. Now, I want you to go find an ad in the wild. For example, just maybe you find it anywhere. Maybe you find it in a movie. Maybe you find it somewhere else. Just find an ad, and I want you to take a screenshot of it. Thankfully, Mr. Rook has put together this lovely example of how to take screenshots if you're on either a Macintosh computer, a Windows PC, or a Chromebook. For Chromebook, you got to press down these 3 buttons. You got to press down and hold Control and Shift, and then press the window switcher key. Okay, and this will help you take a targeted, a selected screenshot. For me, so I'm going to push the Windows Shift keys and hold them down, and then press S. Okay, and I'm going to go find an ad somewhere. Now, you may need to actually turn off uBlocker to find ads, and then refresh a page if you're having a hard time finding ads, because it's so good at blocking ads. And finally, once you find some ads, you can press those 3 keys, whatever they were for your specific computer type, and then you're going to click and drag a box around an ad you found. Okay? You click and drag a box, and it'll save it to your clipboard. So it says, see, snip, save to clipboard. Cool. Now we can go back to Seesaw, click Add Response, and then I want you to go to Drawing, and to paste your screenshot piece, your snip of your screenshot, hold down Control and press V, and it'll paste your screenshot. You can resize it, kind of put it to the side, and there you go. You've captured your ad, your wild ad from the wild. You've captured it and put it into Seesaw. Now let's answer those 3 questions. What were they? Well, what is this ad trying to make me do? Who paid for this? And is it good or bad? Okay, well, I'm going to add some little text boxes, and I'm going to answer these. So, for example, 1, what is this trying to make me do? Well, this looks like it's trying to get me to spend money. Spend money on some kind of service, maybe monthly service to get cartoons and stuff. Number 2, who paid for this? Well, it says it on this one. It's pretty easy. It says it right at the top, Amazon. Okay, so Amazon paid for this one. Sometimes ads might not be this easy or clear to see who is actually paying for it or who's trying to do something. It may not say who it's made by right on the ad, and you may have to look a little deeper or do some research. And finally, is it good or bad? This is kind of a tricky question sometimes, because sometimes there's good things and bad things about certain things. It's not always just totally black and white. Sometimes it's a little more nuanced. In this instance, for me, I would definitely say it's bad. I don't want to be spending extra money every single month on entertainment that I could probably find somewhere else totally free. So it depends. So I think this is actually good and bad, depending on who you're talking to and who it's for. Of course, I do love the Powerpuff Girls, and I'm sure there's some great shows, but overall for me, I think this is bad. And then just click the check mark, and you're all done. Now again, you don't have to type out the questions. You could just type out the answers and try to give me some kind of ad you thought about. Anyways, that's pretty much all for me. And hopefully you guys have a great break over your winter break here, and I'll see you when we get back. But there's one last thing I wanted to talk to you about. Maybe you can think about it. Do you know what I'm talking about? I hope you practice some typing over the break. Do some typing. You should really be doing it like every day. If you guys practice just a little bit every day, you could get super fast at typing. Anyways, I hope you guys have a great break, and I'll see you when we get back.